The flood of 2008 was the worst natural disaster in Iowa history. The images it left behind, unforgettable. The losses, unimaginable. 10 square miles of the city submerged. Close to 700 businesses damaged. 9,000 workers displaced. 19,000 residents evacuated. 5,400 homes inundated. But the waters of the river left more than devastation in their wake. Amid the debris and destruction, the receding waters revealed something else. A community joining hands. Neighbor reaching out to neighbor. Ordinary people performing extraordinary acts of kindness, generosity, and courage.
I don't think there's a sector that didn't have a hand in saving, literally saving Mercy Medical Center.
When we had 8 feet of water in the building, I knew we weren't coming back here for a while. And it was the first time that we actually had a chance to do something proactive as opposed to just reacting to the flood. And so we started looking for space. And that was, you know, it seems like such a simple thing, but I knew we needed a home, a place where we could get back together and start rebuilding our company.
If we didn't do our job, by that I mean getting the power restored, there could be no recovery in the Cedar Rapids area.
When 49 of the city's 50 water wells were lost, heroic efforts saved the final remaining well.
If we had not secured that well, we would have lost all of Cedar Rapids' water for a long time. And the fact that we didn't is a testament to the efforts that the residents and the city staff put forth.
And despite major impacts to their plants and personnel, both Alliant and Mid-American Energy acted quickly to resume service to customers.
If the elevator system had dropped out and they were on emergency power, imagine moving all 150, in some cases critically ill patients, out of the patient tower through the stairwells. That was an impossibility.
St. Luke's Hospital mobilized promptly to take in evacuated patients from the flooded Mercy Medical Center, and also provided over 9,000 free tetanus shots. Local media outlets stayed on the air and on the job 24/7 with continuous commercial-free emergency information. The education community transformed schools into emergency shelters. The faith community coordinated volunteers through Serve the City and local churches. The nonprofit community answered the call and continued to provide needed services. Labor unions helped organize neighborhood cleanups. And the cultural community joined together to organize fundraising events to help benefit flood victims.
Growing up in this town and knowing as many people as I do in the community and knowing as many people in those neighborhoods that lost their homes, it was an incredibly emotional time for me. I had a difficult time going home in a house that wasn't flooded and being in my home and thinking, geez, things are okay here, and then remembering all of those people that lost everything.
It just never ceases to amaze me, the resiliency of the human spirit. And it's often those with the least to lose that lose the most in a tragedy such as this, but somehow they figure out a way to make it happen.
When you go through something like this, emotions run high, and compassion is the biggest asset anyone can have.
Now, as the flood itself recedes into memory, the possibilities of the future rise into view.
I hope that we can actually pull together all the different constituencies and come up with a long-term plan that allows this to be an opportunity instead of just a catastrophe.
When a community goes through an event like this, there is the opportunity to lose hope, to be despondent. When you drive through our neighborhoods, when you drive through the central business district and you see the devastation. But I think the message is, don't stop believing. Don't stop believing in what we can accomplish together. Don't stop believing in the value of our neighborhoods. in the value of our downtown, in the value of our employers and our employees and our workforce here.
I'd say the biggest lesson I learned is that our business isn't our stuff. Our business is our employees, our business is our customers, our business is our vendors.
What it has ignited in our community and our spirit is that desire to help our neighbors. And I think Cedar Rapids will only become stronger as a result of these very trying times.
No community or state recovers until people can go back to work and they can do something with their labor and they can be rewarded for it, and then they could take those dollars and pay their mortgage or buy a car or go out to eat or buy some clothes.
I mean, my biggest concern, candidly, is that DC has lost, we're off the face of the map because we've recovered and we're not recovered. And at the same time, because we were so strong in the early days, I think there's a presumption that it's kind of behind us. And we're just getting started. I mean, this building, you know, it's over 2 months since the flood and we're still in the middle of rebuilding. And we're ahead of a lot of people.
We've got some hard days ahead of us, without a doubt, and we've got, you know, immense sadness in our community. By the same token, I'm more encouraged by the heart and hope and idea for the future that people have in their minds.
During this disaster, we saw a lot of members of the nonprofit sector, the arts and culture, human services, education, severely impacted by the flood. And now as we're looking at rebuilding the community, the nonprofit sector needs to be part of that rebuilding, and we will all work together.
There are certainly financial constraints on what we can do as a community, but there shouldn't be constraints on the ideas that come forward. There shouldn't be constraints on the boldness of our action, and we have to be disciplined in how we begin to rethink the complexion of this community.
We really look at our recovery as holistic. It's going to take the chamber, it's going to take the downtown district, it's going to take every person who's a member of our community to aid in our recovery and bring us back as a city.
I would really hope that we can take this opportunity to build that affordable housing and have available for families some good quality, sustainable housing in neighborhoods that can really create more vibrancy in our community by having people have a good, safe, clean, healthy place to live.
The magic in this, if there is any magic, is that you saw in large ways and small ways, human to human, people helping each other because they cared not only about the community, but they cared about each other.
We really do have the ability to rise above. We really do have the ability to build and recreate a community better than ever.
We also shouldn't shy away from our obligation to that next generation of Cedar Rapidians who will choose to live, work, and play here to make this a greater community, to make this that beacon that we all know it can be.
You know, we are a community that gets it done. We are a community that steps forward in tough times and makes the necessary steps possible for the future. And I look at it and I think we're going to look back 10 years from now and say that although this was a terrible thing, we learned from it and we made our community stronger through thoughtful action and cooperation.
We live amongst many heroes, and there's just nowhere else I'd rather be.
If I had had to ever face this kind of a disaster, I can't imagine a better community in which to have to deal with it. Cedar Rapids is phenomenal, just incredible.